What's going on, everybody? I'm Will Ortner. You're watching Seahawks Today, and unfortunately, I got some bad news for you. On today's show, we're going to be discussing what could be happening with your offensive coordinator, Klint Kubiak, in the 2026 off season. I know right now in the 2025 season, the Seahawks are clicking on all cylinders. The offense looks frickin' sweet, but that could lead to some future problems. I do want to ask you, though, maybe I'm just a worrywart. Maybe I'm a little bit too concerned about something that could be a future Will problem. Is it too early to be worrying about Kubiak leaving the Seattle Seahawks? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, the Athletic's Dianna Russini, great NFL insider, is very talented, does a lot of great work, big friend of PFT commenter, listed the top coaching candidates for the 2026 NFL head coach openings. And unfortunately or fortunately for the Seattle Seahawks, among a lot of the names of the big-time coordinators, Klint Kubiak was one of the top candidates. Now, there's other coordinators out there. Robert Saleh is going to get some look, right? Shula over in LA is going to get some look. Lou Anarumo is going to get some look. So there are plenty of other coordinators that are going to be up for jobs, along with potentially some coaches that are head coaches right now in the college football world, or coaches like Mike McCarthy who have been head coaches in the past. Maybe they'll come in. But there is for sure going to be at least a couple of teams that call Klint Kubiak and give him an interview, at least one. And it makes complete sense. Look at the offensive stats for the Seahawks right now in total yards. They're top 10 in the National Football League, and they are a run-first team. When it comes to passing yards, again, they are in the top 10 when it comes to the National Football League, and they are a team that doesn't want to throw the football. You're talking about a team that's top 10 in passing yards, and they throw the ball the second least amount in the National Football League. Pretty darn impressive. I get why teams want to call Klint Kubiak. When you look at the points, number 2 in the National Football League. Very, very impressive. Clearly, the Seahawks have a great offense. You have multiple players in multiple positions that are having career years. The offensive line has had a great resurgence. You're seeing in the running back room, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet have very good years. For your wide receiver room, you've seen, hey, Cooper Kupp, yeah, he took a step back. He's not Cooper Kupp in LA, but guess what? No one can be. He's still a very good wide receiver. Rashid Shaheed's starting to figure some things out. But most importantly, you have the number 1 wide receiver in the National Football League in Jackson Smith-Njigba. Right now, he's easily got the most yards. Absolute dominant performance week in and week out. It now feels weird when he has a week where he doesn't have over 100 yards receiving. He's going to have double-digit touchdowns already. He's already broken the Seattle Seahawks single-season receiving record. And so it's clear to see why teams might say, hey, Jackson Smith-Njigba is actually a reason why this offense has been so great. Your quarterback, Sam Darnold, it might not be a career year, but it's clear that he now has a career as a starting quarterback, and that the 1 year in Minnesota was not a one-off. He's throwing the ball extremely well, and if you take away that Rams game, his turnovers aren't insane when it comes to throwing interceptions to the other team. He's got a real shot at getting over 4,000 yards passing this year, again, for a team that does not want to throw the football, and his completion percentage is almost at 70%. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Sam Darnold's the reason why the Seahawks offense is doing so well. A lot of people are going to say that Jackson Smith-Njigba is the reason why the Seahawks offense is doing well. Head coach Mike Macdonald was smart enough to go and get all these players together. John Schneider, your GM, went out and picked up the right players that fit into the system. But at the end of the day, this is Klint Kubiak's offense, and he has created a winner in Seattle. A decent amount of the good players that are on this team were on this team last year. And former offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb was not very good for the Seattle Seahawks. It was fine for that passing attack. Passing yards were off the chart. But it wasn't that great for the rushing attack, and it wasn't that great for this team in general. So to see what Kubiak has done has been very impressive. And so now I ask you, how much credit does he deserve? To me, yeah, he's not going to get all the credit. It's not fair. But when you look at the pie chart of the people who deserve credit and who's the most important, it's Kubiak's system. You brought him in to create a good offense, and he's done exactly that. So I ask you, How much credit does Klint Kubiak deserve for this offense? Let me know down below in the comments. Now, if only a couple jobs open up, well, then that's not that big of a deal, right? Klint Kubiak may not be the one who gets those jobs, and that is okay. Hey, getting interviews isn't that big of a deal. Getting the job, that's where things can change. But this is where we go back again to Dianna Russini, because she has some interesting stats for us and for Seahawks fans. Since 2011, at least 5 head coaching vacancies have popped up each cycle. Now, right now, only 2 teams have openings, the New York Giants and the Tennessee Titans. Russini predicts that number is going to go up. Now, there are no guarantees that these jobs could potentially come open, but many around the league definitely are asking questions around the Atlanta Falcons, Cleveland Browns, Arizona Cardinals, Cincinnati Bengals, and of course, the Las Vegas Raiders. When you look at the current openings for the New York Giants, Tennessee Titans, I'm going to go into why Klint Kubiak would be someone that they are going to interview and why he could potentially be hired to them. But before I do that, I need to let you know about our good friends over at PrizePicks. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. It is the holiday season, the best time of year for sports. Bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes, it is all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. PrizePicks. New feature alert. PrizePicks now has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. On PrizePicks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose FlexPlay, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the power play. No matter your play, PrizePicks is a great way to put your takes to the test. I have a 2-pick power play for this weekend's action. JSN, more on his receiving yards. Jared Goff, more on his passing yards as well. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Now, why does Kubiak fit in New York? The Giants have a rookie quarterback who is absolutely nails. Now, I did not expect Jackson Dart to come in to New York and kind of light the world on fire, and frankly, he has. He's played very well. Now, some of that is because he did have Brian Daboll as his head coach. But now that Daboll is no longer in New York, the Giants have to find someone to come in and be the head coach. To me, it does not make sense for the Giants to draft a rookie quarterback, someone who is supposed to be the future of your franchise, who has showed promise since he's come in to be your starting quarterback, to go and hire a defensive-minded coach. Why would you do that? That's what stupid franchises do. Well, the Giants might be a little bit of a stupid franchise, but I digress. If the Giants are smart, they will go in and hire an offensive-minded guy who can take some of the pressure off of Jackson Dart while still getting the most out of Jackson Dart. Kind of sounds like what Klint Kubiak is doing with Sam Darnold. Why does Kubiak fit in Tennessee? Well, he fits in Tennessee for the same reason. They have a rookie quarterback in Cam Ward. The kid looks like he's absolutely nails, and they want to position him to be the best player that he can potentially be. Because right now, Cam Ward's potential is unlimited. He's a great athlete. He can run around. He can throw the football extremely well. He is a good QB. Go and get Klint Kubiak, and who knows where he could take him to. When you look at the rest of the potential head coach openings, there is a good argument for why Kubiak could end up at any of these spots. Atlanta Falcons, Michael Penix. He's not a rookie quarterback, but he's young. Could Kubiak get the most out of him? The Cleveland Browns. I don't know if you're going to go with Shedeur Sanders the rest of the way, but if you are going to go with Shedeur Sanders the rest of the way, and maybe you want to build this team around Shedeur Sanders, yes, I'm saying Shedeur Sanders for the name value, then you might want to pair him with Klint Kubiak, because Klint Kubiak could take Shedeur Sanders to the next level. The Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray's not your guy, so you're going to have to go get a rookie quarterback. Why not go get an offensive-minded guy to be the head coach who can then pick his own quarterback that he wants? Does he want it to be Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore, Ty Simpson? He will now get to choose. It makes sense to do it that way. In Cincinnati, if they move on from Taylor, you want an offensive-minded guy around Joe Burrow. That might be the one spot where there's a potential for them to go defensive-minded just because, like, you can't mess up Joe Burrow. But come on. There's a reason why you might want him over there. And then if you're the Raiders, come on. They're a dumpster fire. They are an explosive situation. Don't be shocked if they decide we need a rookie quarterback. And if they need a rookie quarterback, why would you not want Klint Kubiak? He's made Sam Darnold great. He's been a good offensive coordinator wherever he's gone, and he's built a system that can be successful in multiple places. It's built on running the football and play action pass. Plenty of teams are going to want Klint Kubiak. Does that mean that he will be hired for sure? No, not necessarily. I mean, the end of the season might sour some teams on him if it goes the wrong way. It might actually boost his hiring odds if the end of the season goes the correct way, the way we all want it to go. So then that leads me to this question. Will Klint Kubiak stay in Seattle in 2026? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know down below in the comments. Before I get out of here, I do want to make sure that I leave this and I say this as clearly as possible. It is a good thing that Klint Kubiak is getting mentioned as a potential head coach in other spots. But I would love to hold on to him for as long as I possibly can because he's that freaking good. So hopefully Seattle's able to hold on to him, but don't be shocked if you're hearing a lot of Seahawk rumors around Klint Kubiak heading to go coach somewhere else. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show today. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 80K. Help us get there by subscribing. And until next time, I'll see you later.